Hey, it's Monday, guys. I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. Most of us are back to work today, although we kind of are always back to work. But anyway, I'm sure you guys are back to work today, and we got some exciting stuff coming up. Friday is going to be our first Friday Live, and I'm really excited about that. But I want to go over a bunch of things today. First things first, again, I hope you guys had a great weekend and a great Thanksgiving. So much to be thankful for. I'm sure you do as well as us. We're thankful for you guys taking time to watch what we do and support us. That's the first thing. Second thing, on Friday's video, when I was carving that this little deal, if you go back and watch it, and what I did is a screenshot so you can see, and it's not a really good picture, but you'll see along in here and down here how it kind of feathered up. It's what I call kind of feathered up, and it was several different reasons, but the main reason was that I was cutting with the SC50 bit. If I'd have been cutting that with the profile bit, it probably wouldn't have done that. The SC50, remember, only has one flute, so it doesn't cut near as well as the profile bit, but it cuts really narrow, which is what I needed in this area. So I get, and the reason I bring that up, the only reason I really bring it up is I get questions or concerns once in a while that you guys are cutting with a bit and you end up getting feathers and stuff. Well, if you'll notice, I never even mentioned it when I was doing that because it really doesn't matter to me. What matters to me more than anything else is, am I holding a straight line with it? And if that's a hindrance, if those feathers are having is an obstacle to holding a line, then it becomes a problem. But just the fact that it might feather up or burr up on the edge doesn't necessarily mean the cutter is bad. It doesn't necessarily mean even that your board is bad. It could be any number of different things. It just doesn't matter to me as long as the cutter is working and I can hold a straight line. The reason it doesn't matter to me is because I'm going to spray it and sand it off anyway. So they're all going to be gone by the time I finish my sign. So if that's a thing for you guys, that bothers you, get over it. It makes no difference. At least the way I make my signs, you guys, whatever. But if you get a little feather or a little burr, it really makes no difference as long as it's not a hindrance to be able to hold a straight line or to carve your line. All right, that's that. Questions, you know how to get a hold of me. All right, you were pointing over there.
Your dad's going to turn on the saw.
Okay. If Dad turns on the saw, it might get kind of loud. Is he kind of waiting for us or what? Okay. So here's what I want to do today. If you guys didn't know, we have these little layout letters, and for years and years and years, we only...
This way, we got to glare a little bit.
Oh, we only sold
Other way.
1 inch letters, layout letters. We only made and sold 1 inch layout letters. Every once in a while, I would carve smaller than that, but you guys got to remember, I've been doing it for a while. So you can actually buy 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch different sets of layout letters now. And that's fine. But here's the thing, is I'm seeing people that are just starting out, beginning, and they're trying to carve 1/2 inch tall Clarendon layout letters. I think that's a huge mistake. And that's the reason I wanted to do this video, is to give you guys some kind of a reference point of how small those things really are. Now, I probably would not carve those outset, but even inset with an SC50, they're really difficult to carve if you're just starting out. So I don't suggest buying 1/2 inch ever, as far as until you've got at least maybe, I don't know, 50 signs under your belt. I would not even mess with 1/2 inch. If you are going to do 1/2 inch, what I would suggest is do the fatty font, and that's the reason I kind of laid those out here. The difference between the fatty font and the Clarendon or Bookman on 1/2 inch letters is huge, and you'll see that here as far as ease of cutting them. I wouldn't recommend 1/2 inch to new carvers anyway. And then the 3/4 inch, I've got Bookman. So these are the fatty font. the Clarendon and the Bookman. I want to use 3 different fonts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay those out here. This is actually the same board I cut the layout template on. But I'm going to lay these out real quick. Here's another reason that that may be an issue for you with these little letters. I'll try and keep these things from flying around. But if you don't have a real good touch with your layout stuff. Oh, by the way, just so you know, I'm using the primer flat black. But if I got too close to those and I wasn't real careful, those things would fly on me. Fortunately, I had a little bit of a light touch there, so they didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and carve this stuff. And this is, again, another piece of, this is that same piece of spruce that I got from Joe Irene that I used the other day on that. But I want to, I'm going to set up and carve these things and show you really the difficulty between 1/2 inch Clarendon and 1/2 inch fatty font. And then, you know, to me, these look twice as big as these, but there's really only 1/4 inch difference in height. But you can see the bigger you go, the wider you go. You got all kinds of room here. Anyway, I'm going to let that dry. We'll be right back and we'll carve them. All right, folks, here we go. So I've got these laid out. I drew my lines top and bottom. Really important when you've got small letters like this. What I've got in here is my modified profile bit. It's been ground a few times, so it cuts a little wider than a brand new profile bit. But I think it'll work for me on these letters and these letters. This one, these, I'll have to switch over, and we'll do that on the following scene with an SC50. Anyway, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'll probably have to change my depth on there. I guess I better get my depth gauge out. I did with that. There it is. So I'm going to cut these bottom ones first, and then I'll tell you what depth we're at. Here we go. Now, if you guys watched me close on that, you saw I kind of, in places, I kind of picked the router up because it really was set a little too deep. That's a little over 1/8 inch. Again, it's all relative. It really matters not depth. It matters on how wide the cutter is cutting, because this one has been sharpened, so a brand new profile bit would cut narrower than that. But anyway, so I lifted it up. So in this instance, I probably would be a little bit less than 1/8 inch if I wanted to keep my base. If you go back and watch, you'll see I raised my base in spots like down here and down there. But now I think I'll probably be about the right depth for these bigger 3/4 inch. So these are 3/4 Bookman, 1/2 inch Clarendon, and 1/2 inch fatty font. Here we go. So, it's, all right, so now that was about the right depth for those big fat Bookman, and it was again it should have been a little bit less for that. So I'm going to switch these bits, switch out to an SC50, and we'll come back and do those. All right, guys. So now I'm going to do these little 1/2-inch Clarendon. I've got the SC50 bit. It's actually the modified SC50 bit, and I've got it set at just about 1/8 of an inch. So let's see if it's going to be the right. I might have to adjust it up or down depending on how wide of a line it cuts. So you can see that these cut a tremendous difference in width of these, even though they're both still 1/2 inch. So the font size or the font really does make a difference on what bit you're going to use and how you're going to cut them. So if I was trying to cut those outset, it would be, you know, you have other issues come into play. So I guess my whole point, and we'll go ahead and spray these. I'll spray them off camera, come back, sand them off so you can see what they look like sanded off. And then we can go into it a little bit further then. So you can see, guys, huge difference in between those. I mean, these things look giant compared to these. You know, again, I'm not trying to discourage you guys from carving small letters because they look pretty cool. But, you know, if you're brand new at this, you know, and you don't really have a really good handle on what that means when you're going real small letters, you might want to stay with bigger letters, or if you're going to go small letters, try and go with a font that's a little bit more forgiving. This font is not very forgiving. A lot of straight lines. That fatty font is definitely the most forgiving that we have. We've got some little burrs on there I want to get off. This is a soft shoe brush that I use. I didn't realize you were up here. Anywho, that's it, guys. So we'll have another little demo on Wednesday. I've got a specific thing that I want to go over that I get a lot of questions on. So we're going to do that on Wednesday, and then Friday live, 7 p.m. our time. that's when we're going to do a half-hour Q&A. Now, for you, of those of you that are in Europe or different parts of the world that it's, wee hours in the morning or late night, whatever, you guys can still have your questions on there. Just email them to me ahead of time. Just put in the subject, email eric@makeawoodsign.com and put in the subject Friday live question. Okay, and then give me your question, and if we've got time, we'll get them on there and answer them live specifically to you. The other thing was, no, there was no other thing. I don't think. That is about it. Man, there was something else I was thinking. I guess that's it, guys. I hope you guys are having a great week, had a great holiday, and be sure if you have any questions, to me, eric@makeawoodsign.com. I'm on every day on Instagram, Make a Wood Sign. If you have questions for Vicky in regards to the website and ordering and all of that stuff, it's vickywithdavesigns@gmail.com. And both of those are down in the subject below. So if you guys need links to those, they're down there. That is it, guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you in a couple days on Wednesday. Bye-bye.